Ever wanted to sound a bit more natural when you're speaking English, especially British English? Well, today we're going to master one of the most common phrases you'll hear all the time, have got. Let's jump right in.
See that? Have you got a minute? That's exactly the kind of natural, everyday English we're going to get the hang of. Seriously, by the end of this quick explainer, you'll be using it like it's second nature. So, let's start with the basics.
So first things first, what are we even talking about here? It's really simple. It's all about possession. This is how you talk about the things you own, the people in your life, or even the way something looks, like she's got blue eyes. It's absolutely key for day-to-day chats.
So at its core, have got is just another way of saying have. I have a car means the exact same thing as I've got a car. Now, you'll hear have got all the time in British English, so using it is a fantastic way to make your speech sound a bit more authentic. In American English, it's more common to just hear I have a car. Both are totally correct, but today we're really focusing on the super common British style.
Okay, but here's a really important rule you've got to remember. We only use have got for possession, for things, not for actions. So you can say, I've got a key, but when you're talking about an action like eating, you just say, I have breakfast at 8. It's a small difference, but it's a big deal.
All right, let's get into the grammar, and don't worry, it is actually very, very straightforward. The only thing that changes is whether you use have or has, and that all just depends on who you're talking about. The rule is this simple. For I, you, we, they, and any plural nouns like birds, we always use have got. But for he, she, it, and singular nouns like Anna or the boy, we switch to has got. That's really it. That's the main thing you need to remember.
Now, to sound even more natural, we almost always shorten these when we speak. We call them contractions. So I have got turns into I've got, and he has got becomes he's got. Let's see how this looks in a few sentences.
Okay, now that we know the basic rule, let's put it into action. We're going to look at how to make positive statements, saying what you have, and then how to make negative statements, saying what you don't have. So here are a few simple positive statements. Just notice those common short forms. I've got a new car. She's got 5 pets. Even when you use a noun like the students, the rule stays the same. The students have got a new teacher. It's just a very direct way of stating a fact. And you know what's great? Look how simple it is to make a sentence negative. All you have to do is add ent, which is just short for not, to have or has. So has got becomes hasn't got, and have got becomes haven't got. That's it. Let's check out these examples. I haven't got an umbrella. Perfect for a rainy day in London, right? Or my parents haven't got a car. And the fridge hasn't got any food in it. See, with just that one tiny change, you can now talk about what you have and what you don't. Easy.
Okay, so you can make statements. That's awesome. But conversations are a two-way street, right? What about asking about what other people have? This is where conversations really get started. So let's look at how to form questions.
The secret to asking a question is just one simple swap. You take a statement like, you have got a ticket, and you just move the word have right to the beginning. That's all there is to it. It becomes, have you got a ticket? And it works exactly the same for has. She has got a car. Becomes, has she got a car?
And of course, answering is just as important. In real conversations, we almost always use these short answers. So to a question like, has the hotel got a restaurant? You just say, yes, it has. Or to, have you got your own bedroom? You might answer, no, I haven't. Using these short answers is a massive part of sounding fluent. So, we've covered the rules for making statements and asking questions. Now let's talk about why getting this right is such a huge win for your English journey.
So why focus so much on this one little phrase? Well, get this. Research shows that mistakes with verbs make up nearly 40% of all the errors that English learners make. So by mastering have got, you're fixing one of the biggest problem areas and taking a massive step forward.
And that's really the whole point, isn't it? This isn't just about grammar rules. It's about connecting with people. When you use common phrases like have got correctly, you just feel more confident, and your conversations will start to flow so much more naturally. Okay, let's put it into practice right now. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to just think of the answer using the grammar we've just learned. Ready? How many games has your phone got? You could answer, it's got 10 games, or maybe it hasn't got any games.
And there you have it. You've got the rules, you've seen the examples, and now you are totally ready to use have got and has got with confidence. The only thing left to do is go try it out in a real conversation. You've got this. Great job today.